गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट और गना शॉट में दोबारा आप सबको स्वागत है। आज हम बात करेंगे जनरल नारायणन के साथ कि कटिंग एज मिलिट्री टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे हम अपने आर्म फोर्सेस के अंदर लेके आ सकते हैं और वो भी थ्रू एकेडमिया। हाउ कैन cutting edge military technology come through academia? In the last session, I spoke about innovation, how to bridge the gaps in innovation, right, between the armed forces and everyone else. Now that we are hoping that the innovation is done, how to get this in. That's what we are going to talk about. And before I go further, let me welcome my old good friend, Dil Narayanan. Hi, Rajiv. How are you? Long time since we met on this
Thank you,
platform.
sir. Yes, sir. Always a pleasure to be on the platform to share our thoughts with the younger generation to take it forward.
Yeah. That's where we are. And if you remember, we started this journey of military technology of this journey century. We were, handling all these technologies, which we are still handling. If I may recollect, we finished AI, we finished space, we finished cyber. We also finished semiconductors. We've spoken of battlefield energy, communication, network, and cloud memory. We were to do robotics and unmanned systems, but then I thought, let us take a break from this and see, okay, how do you get all these items within the armed forces, right? And that's where we are. And this is what Rajiv thinks about it. So, Rajiv, you can take it on and just start off, and I'll join you with the cloud. I'll keep showing the slides for you.
If you could show that slide, sir, I'll just
Yeah,
get
yeah,
started.
definitely. Yeah.
Now, the basic concept is that you have this triangle, the services, you have the industry, you have the academia, and in between is the main decision maker, which is the MOD. And I've always felt that what we have to look at is not just civil military fusion, that is the MOD and services, but we need the MOD, the services, the academia, and the industry. A fusion here, and we need to have our own cross pollination across the board. Only then you will be able to induct in technologies, not just for new platform, how to improve the existing platform. So the services now today, all three services have their design bureaus. But what is important is the word which I have used, technically competent personnel at all levels. Technical competence doesn't imply that everybody has to be a technical expert. No. He needs to understand and grasp what this technology is and how it can be applied, which is the most critical portion. Leave the rest of the pure sciences, technical knowledge to the others. Yes, you would need, like if a person is coming into the design bureau, not only do you need a technically competent person who will be the user rep to understand and put it in perspective, but आपको कॉम्पिटेंट साइंटिस्ट की भी जरूरत होगी यूनिफॉर्म में, एकेडमिया से भी, इंडस्ट्री से भी, ताकि आपके डिजाइन ब्यूरो में पूरा फ्यूजन होता है इसका। तो पीएमई का मतलब होता है प्रोफेशनल मिलिट्री एजुकेशन। तो इसको आपने एकेडमीज में मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा ताकि बेसिक टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज आप दे सकते हैं। आगे चल के जिसको इस स्ट्रीम में और मतलब प्रोफेशनली कॉम्पिटेंट होना, कोर्सेज हैं फौज में, वो उसमें जा सकता है उस स्ट्रीम में, लेकिन बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग आना चाहिए। तभी आपको ये क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन पॉसिबल होगा, सिविल, एकेडमिया, इंडस्ट्री, सर्विस डिजाइन ब्यूरो। और इसमें बहुत जरूरी है हमारे जो एमआरओ पर्सनल है, मतलब मेंटेनेंस, रिपेयर एंड ओवरहॉल वाले, सस्टेनेबिलिटी वाले, वो भी काफी आपको इक्विपमेंट के लेआउट के अंदर और क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आने वाला है वो बता सकते हैं, मेंटेनेबिलिटी और सस्टेनेबिलिटी के एस्पेक्ट्स को। हम प्योर साइंटिस्ट के इसमें जाएंगे तो ये मिस आउट कर जाएंगे। और वाइस वर्सा, इन्हें क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन सब तरफ होना चाहिए। इससे क्या होता है, हमारा जो R&D का फंडिंग होता है स्प्रेड आउट हो जाता है, कुछ सर्विस देता है, कुछ एकेडमिया को मिल रहा है, कुछ इंडस्ट्री के अपने आते हैं। अब इससे फ्यूजन आपका जो बजटरी एलोकेशन का फ्यूजन हो जाता है, जिसके आप अच्छे से मैनेज कर पाते हैं। खास करके जो ड्यूअल टेक्नोलॉजीज वगैरह निकल के आ रहे हैं उसको आप अच्छे से कर लेंगे। अगर आप सोचते हो कि मिलिट्री का चाहिए, केवल मिलिट्री के बजट से मिलेगा, तो बजट बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा। जैसे पहले भी बताया था कि ये जो these emerging and evolving technologies are very expensive, these are don't come cheap, so you need to manage these.
Yeah, these are the
Yeah,
evolving technologies
these are all these,
and
and these are very costly,
very
it won't
costly.
come cheap, it
Yeah,
won't come cheap. किसी
yeah.
एक को आप बोलोगे कि नहीं मैं एकेडमिया को पैसे दूंगा, करेगा ना, इतना
No,
बजट आप दे नहीं पाओगे। हम ऐसे इतने अमीर देश नहीं है कि हम निकाल के सब दे सकते हैं।
yeah,
आपको
I
इसमें
agree with you. Yeah.
स्प्रेड आउट करके बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा कि कुछ सर्विसेज से निकले, कुछ एकेडमिया को आया, कुछ इंडस्ट्री को आया, वहां से तभी क्रॉस, और इसका इस्तेमाल सही होगा जब आप क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन कर रहे हैं।
Yeah.
ठीक है, तो डिफेंस R&D मॉडल है, वही लिखा था मैंने, सिनर्जेटिक इंटरप्ले बिटवीन इंडस्ट्री एंड एकेडमिया विद सर्विसेज एट द फलक्रम। सर्विसेज को चाहिए ये चीज, तो फलक्रम वहां है, लेकिन पूरा सपोर्ट आपको MOD से भी चाहिए, क्योंकि वहां पे भी हम बोल रहे हैं सर्विसेज का क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन होता है। अभी हमारा जो स्ट्रक्चर है MOD का, वो अलग किसी टाइम करेंगे, वो बहुत बड़ा है, इट्स नॉट स्मूथ
Yeah,
फंक्शनिंग, बहुत
yeah.
बड़ा है,
That
इतना बड़ा,
that that
इतने
is
बड़े
a
रहने की जरूरत नहीं है।
that's a major point which General Narayanan has brought out. Uh, in case we, are you done with the slide?
हाँ सर, आई हैव डन
Yeah,
विद
yeah,
दिस।
yeah. In case we have to ensure that the academia functions for the defense, uh, the MOD has to change track. If the MOD doesn't change track, we are stuck, right? And unfortunately, the MOD is not geared for this. In fact, there is no section in the MOD which is tuned to bring this fusion about today, right? It is left to the services to reach out to the academia and bring them in, which is probably the worst case option. All right. Unless the nation wants the academia to deliver for the nation, you will not get it. That's the fundamental point. And most important, what General Narayanan has said is these are all dual use technologies. Invariably, most of these technologies which we are talking of, I'll show them again, have more application in the civil sector, and they have more value in the civil sector, and the return of investment will be more in the civil sector. But to realize that, you need research in the defense sector. Otherwise, you go nowhere. Anyway, having said that, take it on, Rajiv.
हाँ सर, अभी अगर आप ये चीज कर लेते हो, तो मिलिट्री इन्फ्लुएंस और उसका जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेके करते हो, यू हैव स्पेसिफिक साइंटिफिक नॉलेज, स्पेसिफिक टेक्नोलॉजीज निकल के आते हैं, उसके सिविलियन स्पिन ऑफ्स निकल के आता है। तो इस सर्किट में पूरा ड्यूअल यूज टेक्नोलॉजी की बात हो रही है। थोड़ा बहुत दिखाया है टेरेन कंट्रोल्स, फ्लैश फ्रैगमेंटेशन, डायनेमिक्स, उनको छोड़ दो आप, ये तो मिसाल के तौर पे बताया हुआ है मैंने। लेकिन आपका जो साइंटिफिक नॉलेज है, एंड इतना मैं बता देता हूँ, तो थोड़ा बहुत लास्ट चेयर में 2-3 IITs के साथ मेरा इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहा है। अभी लाइक जनरल शंकर का काफ़ी इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहा है IIT चेन्नई के साथ। इतना मैं कह सकता हूँ कि द वेल्थ ऑफ नॉलेज जो है हमारे एकेडमिया में इज अनइमेजिनेबल। उनको दिशा दिखाना है, वो अपने इसमें काफ़ी एक्सपर्ट हैं। दैट्स वाई आई सेड टेक्निकली कॉम्पिटेंट पर्सन जो यूज़र है वो बताएगा। दैट इज दैट मिलिट्री इन्फ्लुएंस जो बता रहा हूँ मैं, एक टेक्निकली कॉम्पिटेंट पर्सन बता सकता है कि ये टेक्नोलॉजीज कौन से स्पेसिफिक हैं, केवल मिलिट्री के लिए यूज होंगे, और कौन से हैं जो ड्यूअल यूज में इस्तेमाल हो सकते हैं, मिलिट्री के लिए इस्तेमाल हो सकते हैं, और दोनों से आपको सिविलियंस का स्पिन ऑफ आ सकता है। जैसे क्रूज मिसाइल है, क्रूज मिसाइल आप ही आप जाता है, कंटूर मैपिंग वगैरह जो कुछ करके लो फ्लाइंग होता है वो आप ही आप जाता है। उसका क्या आता है आपका, जो आपके ऑटोमेटेड व्हीकल्स वगैरह मूवमेंट का आप करना चाहते हो उसमें आ सकता है आपके लिए। किधर पे यूज हो सकता है, बड़े वेयर हाउस के अंदर, आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि आदमी लगाना है, ऑटोमेटिकली वो जा सकता है, अपना मैपिंग करेगा। हम टेरेन का मैपिंग कर रहे हैं, वो शेल्व्स और बारकोड का मैपिंग करके जाएगा और आपका सामान लाके आपको दे देगा। ठीक है ना, तो इसमें कई चीज स्पिन ऑफ आ सकते हैं ड्यूअल यूज टेक्नोलॉजी। और मिलिट्री इन्फ्लुएंसेस, यू नीड अ टेक्निकली कॉम्पिटेंट पर्सन हु कैन अंडरस्टैंड टेक्नोलॉजी और उसका यूज हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, वो बहुत जरूरी है।
So what General Narayanan has been saying, the crux of using the academia and getting cutting edge technologies lies in having competent military personnel to tell the academia what they want and get it into their system. That,
बिल्कुल,
if
सिंपल
that
चीज
is
मैं बताता हूँ जो लॉट ऑफ पीपल डोंट नो। आपका माइक्रोवेव अवन है, ये मिलिट्री का रिक्वायरमेंट था फॉर रेडार एंड माइक्रोवेव का, जो कम्युनिकेशन के लिए जो कर रहे थे, उसमें एक साइंटिस्ट ने देखा कि उसके जो जेब में सैंडविच था वो गर्म हो गया, वहां से निकला कि मैं माइक्रोवेव बना सकता हूं। देखा स्पिन
yeah,
ऑफ कहां से निकल के आया,
yeah.
फौज का चाहिए था वो।
And same thing, you look at this, ये जो आपका 5G है, 5G
हाँ,
is all about millimetric waves.
यस,
What is millimetric wave? Millimetric wave was first used for millimetric wave radars 15
बिल्कुल।
years back. Now that is millimetric waves are used in being used for communication because they offer you great bandwidth and offer you great speed. Right. So we'll get into it. We'll see how all this can be utilized.
बस तात्पर्य ये है, जो मिलिट्री इन्फ्लुएंस है, मतलब यू नीड अ टेक्निकली कॉम्पिटेंट
Competent.
पर्सन हु अंडरस्टैंड्स टेक्नोलॉजी।
Yeah. Look. It's like this. I mean, let me give you my own thing. I understand technology. I don't know technology. You know, right? I let me share this with you. Who is a technically competent military man? A technically competent military man is one who understands technology. This What is this understanding of technology? This understanding of technology means he knows all technologies in a shallow manner, but he knows about 5 to 10% of each technology. Right? This gives him the ability to have an overview of all the technologies and how to stitch them all together or packet them together to suit a particular weapon system or a requirement or a terrain condition. He doesn't need to have great depth of 80 to 90% in one or two technologies. That great depth of 1 or 2% in a particular technology is required for the designer, right? That is what we need to have. And the aim of all this series is that
बिल्कुल,
we
ही शुड नो द बेसिक्स, उसको पता
basics.
होना चाहिए ये क्या है बेसिक्स,
That's what,
एंड
5 to
इसका
10%.
एंड हिज एप्लीकेशन क्या कर
Yeah,
सकते हैं, दैट्स इट। दैट इज व्हाट
that's
इज
it.
नीडेड
Yeah.
बाय द टेक्निकली कॉम्पिटेंट पर्सन।
Okay. Now we'll have a look at this tool chain.
यस,
Rajiv, take it on.
in this, the tool chain which I am trying to show is what we have, the what is called the, they have said OSRA but it is ORSA actually, pardon the
Okay.
spelling. It
Yeah.
is operations research and systems analysis. That is how you keep evolving and bettering, getting new system or bettering your system. So you have what they say is in various places like within the design bureau, what is war cafe workshops? These are ideation places, like you go to any, आप infosys चले जाओ, आप विप्रो में चले जाओ, तो just a room, it's an ideation room you are bouncing off. That is the workshops which we here is being spoken of. This is what is used in the European model for their uh, ex, uh, improving the technology for their military. वो अलग बात है कि ग्राउंड में उतना है नहीं उनके पास फोर्सेस, बट दे मेक दिस द काइंड दे यूज फॉर मेकिंग देयर मॉडर्न आर्मामेंट. ओके, देन once you have done that, then you look at what is these technologies that are available जिसको हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. And then you do a analysis, get the designer to do a data analysis कि भाई which kind of technology will be better suited. So this is called the watch and foresight कि आगे का मैं यानी जो बना रहा है वो बन रहा है, अभी ये आगे का सोच रहे हैं कि नए टेक्नोलॉजी आ रहे हैं कि मेरे को नया प्लेटफॉर्म चाहिए होगा या मुझे उसी प्लेटफॉर्म को बेहतर बना सकते. नाउ दिस गोज इनटू अनदर वर्कशॉप कि भी इस टेक्नोलॉजीज के साथ अब आइडियाज निकालते हैं कि मैं इस नए प्लेटफॉर्म का क्या बेसिस होना चाहिए या फिर एग्जिस्टिंग प्लेटफॉर्म को कैसे किस तरह से इंप्रूव कर सकता हूं. वो प्रोजेक्ट फिर का रोड मैप आ जाता है. और सा का मतलब हुआ एग्जिस्टिंग प्लेटफॉर्म इज ऑपरेशंस रिसर्च कि एग्जिस्टिंग प्लेटफॉर्म को कैसे इंप्रूव किया. सिस्टम्स एनालिसिस, मेरे पास एक स्ट्रैटेजी है जिससे मैंने लड़ना है, मेरे पास एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, क्या ये नया प्लेटफॉर्म उस प्लेटफॉर्म से बेहतर टास्क एग्जीक्यूट कर देगा. तो देन आई गेट दैट कि भाई ये एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, इसको रिप्लेस करके आप ये प्लेटफॉर्म यूज कर लो, ही विल बी एबल टू डू द टास्क बेटर. तो ऑल दीज प्रोजेक्ट आइडियाज हैव कम. दैट इज व्हाट इज सेंट नाउ एक्चुअली to these design bureaus and everybody start working on these. You don't know कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट सक्सेस होगा, तो दो तीन आइडियाज चार आइडियाज आप फेंक के दे देते हो एज अ कॉन्सेप्ट कि ये हमने निकाला है. समथिंग सिमिलर यूएस का डारपा भी करता है, वो भी वैसे ही करता है. डिसेल का जो रिसर्च एंड एनालिसिस विंग है. तो ये प्रोजेक्ट्स फिर ये क्या करते हैं, इनके प्राइवेट सेक्टर है पूरे, उनके आर्मामेंट इंडस्ट्री सबको पता है, बताने की जरूरत नहीं. हमें भी जब अपने टेक्निकली कॉम्पिटेंट पीपल क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन वगैरह सब कर देंगे तो ये प्रोसेस मुझे लगा कि एक बेहतर प्रोसेस है. अभी जैसे प्रोजेक्ट के लिए चला गया, वो काम हो रहा है. जो पहले जो वॉर कैफे था, जो आइडिएशन वर्कशॉप आप कर रहे थे, नाउ दैट इज वर्किंग फॉर द नेक्स्ट. बिकॉज ये 6-7 महीने लग गए तब तक, तो आज के तारीख में तो हर 6 महीने के अंदर आपको नया टेक्नोलॉजी आने लगता है. नाउ यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग विद दोस्त. तो इस तरह से प्रोजेक्ट्स आते रहते हैं और सम ऑल मे नॉट सक्सीड. वी शुड एक्सेप्ट, हैव दैट इन अस कि yes, there will be some failures, so we should accept that. All projects may not succeed, but some will succeed and it will be fantastic. And that is how you will get new, and आत्मनिर्भरता इसी से आएगा.
Yeah. Now, what you got a overview how this whole chain functions. कि रिक्वायरमेंट कहीं महसूस हो रहा है, टेक्नोलॉजी कहीं है, इन दोनों को फ्यूज करके यू गिव इट टू द एकेडमिक्स or to people who are involved in research. That research could be in pure sciences or applied sciences. And then you come out with something and you then go through these workshops which General Narayanan has said. And this cycle will go on, right? Now, which means a large part of technology will come from our academics or academic institutions. This is the American model. अमेरिका में जो कोर टेक्नोलॉजी आइडिएशन एंड multiplication of or proliferation of technology happens through the university system. It doesn't happen in the DARPA. The DARPA is only an agency, remember that, right? It doesn't happen in DRDO. DRDO is, the labs cannot give you the fundamental technology. The fundamental technology has to come through our academic institutions. So what we'll now do, इसके आगे हम क्या करेंगे कि हम देखते हैं क्या will academia completely be able to give what we want? Might not, right? Will IITs be able to do it? Might not, but they have the potential to do it. And so before we go headlong and say, oh, IIT should, you know, uh, deliver to the nation, IITs can't deliver to the nation. All IITs, whether they IIT, when I say IIT generically, whether they are IITs, NITs, or any engineering college, or any technical college, or even a biotechnology lab, or whatever, they have certain strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we'll now do a SWOT analysis of most of our academic institutions to see, you know, what is possible and what is not possible. Right? That is the thing. Uh, would you like to take a shot at it,
So
Rajiv?
there is no doubt that in most of your academia that you have some of the best brains who are sitting there. It is a multidisciplinary approach. Like if you take IIT, they're not looking at any one thing. There are multiple disciplines that are working. Within themselves they have a tremendous networking ability. So that's what's the national networking ability. And they also have, because their alumni have also gone out, they also have interactions at the international institutions like these technical institutions. Their students and their papers are also published out there.
Outside.
So they have a network wherein they share the knowledge. They can generate knowledge, they can solve जितना भी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम होगा. इतना तो मेरे को पूरा भरोसा है, दिमाग उनमें बहुत है. अगर हम में इतना दिमाग होता तो हम भी आईआईटी में बैठते. ठीक है. और उनके रिसर्च फैसिलिटीज बहुत तगड़ा है.
Yeah.
They have some of the finest research facilities. And at least the major IITs that I had interacted with last जो chair में था, they have some niche areas where they have done some tremendous work,
Yeah.
which is the strength that they have.
Yeah, I might just like to add, because having spent 5 years, 6 years now after retirement among in this premium IIT of, and also having interacted through them with other IITs, the faculty which is available there is amazing. Some of these fellows and some of these renowned professors have left lucrative careers abroad and come back to India, right? To invest in our thing. And all these people are just lying, waiting to be tapped, right? Besides all. And the issue about research facilities, you'll be amazed at the kind of research facilities which each IIT has. And some of these IITs have some tremendous research facilities which people come and say, can you give us some element of it? You know what the best part, Rajiv? I must tell you, most of these research facilities are underutilized by the order of 50 to 60%.
But
This is a national waste.
this is where the defense should step in
Step in.
and provide guidance
Right?
towards
Yeah.
their direction, because that is one of their weaknesses. They're not
Yes.
oriented to armed forces because they're oriented to pure sciences.
Yeah. So we'll now look at now touch the weaknesses.
Weaknesses. They're oriented to pure sciences. They are passionate about science. They have no clue about defense का क्या होता है the world over, what geopolitics is going on, what is the armed force. They have no clue about that. Uh, they lack a platform based on which they can tell to people what they have done. That
Yeah.
platform is missing.
Yeah.
And that comes because of
Yeah.
the DRDO prism.
Yeah, I'll tell you what why I put this thing DRDO prism. You see, in our system, all our requirements, technological requirements from the armed forces go to DRDO, and then the DRDO chooses and selects what it wants to give to various IITs. Right? It gives, say, take a mega problem, breaks it into four, and gives it to four IITs. Each IIT doesn't know what the other IIT is doing. They don't have the full picture. The best brains don't have the full picture. The DRDO, who's become more of a technical manager, does not have the capacity to understand the technology beyond a point. Why? He cannot understand the technology beyond a point because he doesn't know how it is applied. So he is a misfit. and the DRDO only lets go only that much which they feel should let go. As a result, any problem originated by the defense services is not being attended to the way it should be attended to. The DRDO today has become some kind of an impedimental barrier between the user and the man who can actually deliver, right? And this is not a criticism of the DRDO. This is a fact. And this is not my view alone. This is the view of all my colleagues with whom I've interacted in the past 5 to 6 years. Okay. So I think we need to have a thing. I mean, I'm glad that we've had this platform where we are talking about it. So let's look at the opportunities.
We have had an expansion of the IIT system. So you get a young mind, fresh mind, new faculty who have tremendous opportunities now to achieve something, because they now have to prove that they're as good as the old IITs. Then they, all these people stay in the system for very long time. Like you had mentioned, they trained abroad, बाहर से वो वापस आए हैं अंदर, दूसरे देशों को भी काफी कंट्रीब्यूट किया हुआ है. तो ये उनके पास एक, हमारे पास ये एक अच्छा अपॉर्चुनिटी अवेलेबल है कि भाई इसका इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. लेकिन थ्रेट सबसे ज्यादा होता है कि फौज जो है ना, वो हुक्मदुली से, हुक्म के साथ चलता है, हुक्मदुली नहीं होता है वहां पे. और ये बहुत अनफेमिलियर टेरिटरी है, क्योंकि साइंटिस्ट के साथ ये हुक्म नहीं चलता. हमें बोला जाता है कि भाई ओके, टुमारो मॉर्निंग एट 8 o'clock आई वांट दिस डन. आप रात भर करके किसी तरह से वो प्रोड्यूस कर दोगे. साइंटिस्ट के साथ थोड़ी बोल सकते हो आप. यू कांट टेल हिम दैट डे आफ्टर टुमारो आई वांट यू टू शो मी समथिंग. इट डजंट वर्क दैट वे. साइंस डजंट वर्क दैट वे. So that is the problem, where highly structured thinking, because in military, for application of your plans, procedures, there are battle procedures to be followed so that everything goes in a clockwork fashion. आप गलत कर दोगे तो कोई ना कोई मारा जाएगा. तो that is a clockwork precision जिसके ऊपर आप काम कर रहे हो. It is a highly structured thinking. And on the other side are free thinking. It's not a structured thinking. He has to keep an open mind. वो
Yeah,
इनोवेटर्स हैं, तो वो टोटली डिफरेंट लेवल पे हैं. इसीलिए आई सेड यू नीड अ यूजर हु इज टेक्नोलॉजिकली कॉम्पिटेंट. वो इसको पिरो सकता है.
right. And I might just like to add a couple of points. In the opportunities thing, you have to understand that the faculties in all IITs are being expanded. So there's a lot of people who are coming in with a lot of skills, and there's a realization in IITs that we have to upgrade our skill set, right? Tremendously. And I find a lot of enthusiasm. And this is the thing, this is the time and the opportunity for India. I'm not talking about the armed forces. There's a time and opportunity for India as to how we leverage our IITs, IIM, NITs, and top level, triple ITs, top level institutes to perform for the nation. Right. Having said this, let us see what are the approaches we can take. I've just listed them out. I'll go through them. One is a blue sky approach. What is a blue sky approach? You have a problem which is absolutely over the horizon, on which something has been done. So you apply a blue sky approach and invent everything from the scratch. You conceive it, you go from the existing. But if you have to adopt a blue sky approach, it is maybe time consuming. You have to stay with the IITs or whichever the institute is, and the military has to guide them. Then you can also give this task of doing core research and expertise. What General Narayanan was saying earlier, there should be a tier who does only fundamental research about science, technology, and all that. So that the emerging technologies are refined and you have a working applicative level technology in your hand at the end. The IITs actually are absolutely tuned for this kind of a job. Right. In certain cases, you might have to reinvent the wheel because you got some item for which you don't have the technology, for which you will not get the space for whatever reason. For example, if certain items you might not get the space from Russia today or Ukraine today, and you don't have the technology, you have to reinvent the wheel. and you'd reinvent the wheel through reverse engineering, right? And again, in this, I think the IIT system is one of the best suited for this. Then you could do upgradation, what we spoke of earlier. आप कोई पुराना इक्विपमेंट लीजिए, उसके ऊपर नया टेक्नोलॉजी का सैंडविच लगाइए, और उस नया टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ आपको एक अपग्रेडेड इक्विपमेंट मिल जाएगा, राइट? मान लो एक गन है, उसका साइटिंग सिस्टम है, और उसका साइटिंग सिस्टम आपका पुराना साइटिंग सिस्टम ऑप्टिकल साइटिंग सिस्टम है, पर आप इसको अपग्रेड कर सकते हो इनटू अ डिजिटल साइट विद एआई, with a laser rangefinder, सब कुछ मिला जुला के, that firing system can be made up to date, right? The fundamentals remain the same, but you upgraded it to the next level. Okay, then you can do import substitution. कई आइटम हैं जो आपको आज तक हमें इंपोर्ट करना पड़ रहा है, और वो अभी आपको मुश्किल हो रहा है, क्योंकि आप इंपोर्ट नहीं करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि वो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज है उसका. So you can do import substitution. Then of course the last thing which IITs are very capable of doing is engineering analysis and testing. ये बहुत ही important है, खास करके नॉन डिस्ट्रक्टिव टेस्टिंग सिस्टम्स, और खास करके आपका एमआरओ के लिए, आपका लाइफ एक्सटेंशंस के लिए, आपका लाइफ जांचने के लिए एमिनिशन का खास करके, और वेपन्स का खास करके, the amount of engineering analysis and testing which the IITs have is phenomenal, right? In IIT Madras, we have something called the Planus Group, which is an expert, international expert on non-destructive testing and analysis. Such ability is quite rare, right? These are some of the approaches. You have a word on it, Rajiv, and then we'll go to the next one. Yeah.
To just add to the blue sky approach, जो लोग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बिल्डिंग वगैरह का देखते हैं, कुछ नया रोड बन रहा है, ये है, हम बोलते हैं ग्रीन फील्ड प्रोजेक्ट. बिल्कुल नया है. दैट इज द ब्लू स्काई अप्रोच.
ब्लू स्काई अप्रोच, आसमान खुला है उसके लिए, आपका सोच सब कुछ है,
जमीन पे बनाते हैं तो हम बोलते हैं, जैसे जेवर एयरपोर्ट बन रहा है नोएडा में, तो इट्स अ ग्रीन फील्ड, मतलब बिल्कुल नया है, सब कुछ नया है. तो वही है ब्लू स्काई अप्रोच, इज ग्रीन फील्ड अप्रोच.
राइट. नेक्स्ट है, किस तरह कैसे हम एंगेज कर सकते हैं? या टेक इट ऑन राजीव.
हाँ सर, सबसे पहले जैसे कहा था, जो शुरू में ही बताया था, सिविल मिलिट्री इंडस्ट्री एकेडमी, तो एक एमॉर्फस सा कॉन्टैक्ट स्ट्रक्चर है जहाँ पे आना जाना रहता है सबका. तभी आप उसमें अपना क्या बोलते हैं, आप क्या चाहते हो, नई टेक्नोलॉजी का कैसे इस्तेमाल करना है, क्या करना है, उसमें आइडियाज का आदान प्रदान कर सकते हैं आप. इट हैज टू स्टे एमॉर्फस, इट कांट बी वाटर टाइट कंपार्टमेंट. ना, उससे नहीं बनेगा. एंड डोंट, मतलब हम टेंड टू ट्रीट आईआईटीज एज अनदर ना. आईआईटी एक आपका अलग लैब नहीं है, अलग वेंडर नहीं है, ये उससे परे है. आपको वो सोच लेके आना है कि किस तरह से आप आईआईटीज को इस एमॉर्फस स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर लेके आओगे, उनके अंदर जो एक्सपर्टीज है उसको किस तरह से स्क्वीज करके हमारे फायदे के लिए निकाल सकते हो आप, वो बहुत जरूरी है. डीआरडीओ लैब आज की तारीख में मेरा यही मानना है कि वो एक वर्क चार्ज सिस्टम के तरह से काम करता है. वर्क चार्ज मतलब जब तक उसको प्रोजेक्ट नहीं मिलता तो उसको रेवेन्यू पैसा मिलता नहीं है, तो वो प्रोजेक्ट्स के पीछे जाता है और फौज के पीछे आता है, जहाँ टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी है नहीं समझने के लिए कि मैं क्या प्रोजेक्ट बनाऊं. तो वो ऐसे चीज निकालते हैं अपने जो मैगजीन्स और जर्नल से, और ऐसे चीज मांग लेते हैं जिसकी टेक्नोलॉजी अभी है नहीं हमारे पास. अब डीआरडीओ खुश है क्योंकि अगले 15-20 साल के लिए उसको एक प्रोजेक्ट मिल गया है, पैसे आते रहेंगे. इसको कभी, मेरा हर वक्त ये मानना है कि डीआरडीओ के लिए आरएनडी का फंडिंग अलग दे देना चाहिए, प्रोजेक्ट ड्रिवन नहीं होना चाहिए. डिजाइन ब्यूरो बहुत जरूरी है कि इसके अंदर टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी हो. टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी है जो यूजर ड्रिवन होता है, उसके अंदर फिर टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट्स भी होने चाहिए जो समझा सकते हैं, क्योंकि मेरा जो मिलिट्री का लैंग्वेज है वो मिलिट्री में जो टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट है वही समझ सकता है, सिविलियन साइंटिस्ट या इंडस्ट्री नहीं समझेगा। तो डिजाइन ब्यूरो इज द प्लेस फॉर माय आइडिएशन एंड डिजाइनिंग। जो मैंने वो ओरसा का साइकिल बताया
या
था, ये जगह है वो जहां पे आप आइडिएशन करोगे। फिर जो आपका यूनिफॉर्म जो टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट है वो साइंटिस्ट के साथ बैठ के फिर वो बताएंगे और समझाएंगे किस तरह से हो सकता है, और यहां से फिर प्रोजेक्ट्स निकल के आने शुरू होंगे, कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइज्ड प्रोजेक्ट कि ऐसा हम कर सकते हैं। तो ये बहुत जरूरी है इसको स्ट्रेंथन करने के लिए। नेवी का अच्छा चला हुआ है, आर्मी का तो अभी नेसेंट है, एयरफोर्स का भी मैं कहूँगा नेसेंट है, 8-10 साल पहले बना है। इसको मैच्योर होने में समय लगता है, लेकिन काम अभी से शुरू करना है। एंड डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजी, ये तो इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है कि डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इनोवेशन आपने खोलने हैं हर एक आपके टेक्निकल इंस्टीट्यूट में। व्हेन आई से टेक्निकल इंस्टीट्यूट, इट इज नॉट जस्ट आईआईटीज, ये आपके जितने मल्टी डोमेन में आपको चाहिए, साइबर के लिए चाहिए, आपको मेडिसिन के लिए चाहिए, आपको हर चीज के लिए चाहिए, सारे डोमेन में आपको ये डालना है। इसी तरह से आपका सिविल मिलिट्री इंडस्ट्री फ्यूजन आएगा, नहीं तो नहीं आएगा। अगर आप सोचोगे कि केवल एक डिजाइन ब्यूरो से काम हो जाएगा ना, डिजाइन ब्यूरो से जब जाता है तो उस इंस्टीट्यूट में भी तो आपको चाहिए, बंदे चाहिए उनको गाइड करने के लिए, ना इसको ऐसे नहीं, इसको ऐसे करो, ये लड़ाई में ये प्रॉब्लम आएगा। आपस में कंपटीशन होना चाहिए। कंपटीशन जब तक नहीं है, देन यू विल नॉट स्ट्राइव टू बिकम बेटर। हमारे स्कूल का एक स्लोगन था, नेवर लेट इट गो टिल द गुड बिकम्स बेटर।
या गुड बिकम्स
गुड
बेटर एंड
बिकम्स
बेटर बिकम्स
बेटर एंड बेटर बिकम्स बेस्ट।
द बेस्ट। या
नेवर लेट इट गो टिल द गुड बिकम्स बेटर एंड बेटर बिकम्स बेस्ट। और ये कंपटीशन से ही आता है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने एक ही इंस्टीट्यूट को वो कॉन्सेप्चुअल प्रोजेक्ट देना है ना, एटलीस्ट 2-3 को दो, तो कंपटीशन होगा, कंपटीशन होगा और द बेस्ट पर्सन विंस। और जिसने विन नहीं किया उसके सर्टन सिस्टम्स या सब सिस्टम्स अच्छे होंगे, उसको ही कैन यूटिलाइज इट and market those systems and subsystems, because after all dual use है ये। and
या
courses and visits तो और बढ़ा सकते हैं। स्टार्टअप्स हमको फौज में आइडेंटिफाई करना है। जब आपके ये सेंटर आ जाएंगे डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन में, ये आपको बताएंगे कौन से स्टार्टअप्स हैं जिसके पास आप इंक्यूबेशन एक्टिविटीज के लिए दे सकते हैं कि ये सोच के करो, ये सोच के करो, फौज के लिए ये सोच के लिए करो। स्टार्टअप्स केवल सिविल फील्ड के लिए क्यों, आपके डिफेंस मिलिट्री टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए भी आने चाहिए। कॉन्फ्रेंसेस करिए काफ़ी सारे, ताकि वो समझ आ जाए। उनको फॉरवर्ड एरिया, जो काम कर रहे हैं उनको फॉरवर्ड एरिया में भी लेके जाइए ताकि वो समझ में आएंगे। जैसे हमने बैटलफील्ड एनर्जी का बात किया था, अलग अलग एरिया के रिक्वायरमेंट्स अलग अलग हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज इंडिया इज वन प्लेस, टेरेन बिल्कुल अलग अलग हो जाता है। आप नीचे से ऊपर जाएंगे, टेरेन में देर बी अ टोटल चेंज। तो अब बैटलफील्ड एनर्जी एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, अलग अलग एरिया जाएगा, वो उसको समझ में आएगा कि इस एरिया में क्या काम करेगा और उस एरिया में क्या काम करेगा। इनको सबको डिफेंस एक्सपो, एरो शो, जो भी हम कॉन्फ्रेंसेस करते हैं टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर, इनको बुलाना चाहिए। आईडेक्स के ऊपर। एंड हमारे इसमें इनको अपने जो डिफेंस एस्टैब्लिशमेंट है उसमें एज इंटर्न्स बुलाओ, समझ में आएगा इनको। और लास्ट ऑफ कोर्स इज ऑनलाइन, जो वेब एमटेक कर सकते हैं।
राइट।
So these
ये
are
जो
some of the thoughts, you can take it
yeah, some
further.
of the thoughts ना, actually these are all practical thoughts, क्योंकि let me share it with you what General Narayanan has done. He's run through all these items, पर मैं आपको प्रैक्टिकली बता रहा हूँ, ये हमने किया है पिछले 5 साल में। ये पिछले 5 साल में इंक्रीमेंटली करते 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 आए। उदाहरण के तौर पर मैं सबसे पहले जब चेन्नई में डिफ एक्सपो हुआ था, पहली बार हम आईआईटी मद्रास से जाकर एक स्टॉल भी लगाया है। आईआईटी से हमने बहुत, मेरे पूरे स्टूडेंट्स 200 के करीब स्टूडेंट्स हम लेके गए। उसे काफ़ी उत्सुकता आई। उसके बाद हम इनको लेके गए काफ़ी काफ़ी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में, एक्सपोजर किया, फॉरवर्ड एरिया लेके गए, आईडेक्स प्रोजेक्ट्स में शामिल किया, सब कुछ किया। उसका आज अगर आप सोचते हो कि ये सब हवा में हम बात कर रहे हैं, नहीं। मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ, अभी हम इंडियन आर्मी के साथ एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खत्म करने वाले हैं। Indian Army and IIT Madras are on the verge of signing a contract. What is this contract all about? This contract is all about mobile communications for the army. Right. Now, what does this mobile communication consist of? It consists of homegrown Shakti processors. It consists of BAROS, Bharat Operating System made in IIT. It hopefully will consist of our own chips as and when they come, right? And should be based on 5G, which is indigenous. If we can do this, we are Atmanirbhar. And IIT Madras will be proud, right, to have done this to the Indian Army. And to get to this level, it has taken over a 5-year journey of regular interaction. This is one major project. The second major project which we are en route, actually, and I am personally involved, is the Ramjet project that we all know. When we are attempting a technology which is still over the horizon, it's absolutely blue sky approach. खुला आसमान है, उसके ऊपर जितना हम कल्पना कर सकते हैं कर रहे हैं. But the army is supporting us. We might fail or succeed after some time, but we'll get the technology for it. That's the important thing. So you have to go through this entire story to get to where you are, right? I have one last slide. We'll go through it. You need to do knowledge enhancement because defense technology and management is niche, and it's a huge topic, and it's multidisciplinary. You need to do things at grassroots level and at entry level. At entry level, like I take classes for PhD and MTech and final year BTech students, so that they get an exposure of what technology is all about, what defense technology is all about. In the middle level, I visualize in IITs, we should have applicative oriented courses in MS and PhD level, which we are starting. If you know, I have already put out a program, where, in fact, a video in which I have said we're going to run a web MTech in ammunition technology. And next year, probably we'll start with ammunition technology. And when we run these courses, we are looking at next generation technologies. And of course, like what Jil Narayanan said, we have to do project and program level courses. Wo bhi, so not courses, program level systems where we undertake projects and do everything in
So,
on a project
correct.
mode. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
कोई project लेते हैं, तो why can't we take some interns from these institutions, relevant institutions? They come, they do the internship. On hand, the student is learning the application part. यहाँ तो कॉलेज में वो अपना थ्योरी पढ़ रहा है, थोड़ा बहुत एप्लीकेशन उसको बताया ना, प्रैक्टिकली ही विल बी सीइंग दैट एप्लीकेशन, एंड नाउ व्हेन ही गोज बैक टू द इंस्टीट्यूशन ही विल बी दैट मच मोर learned about those systems, how they can be applied in the
yeah.
military.
In fact, this is something which we are talking with the Navy. Navy has come forth. देखते हैं कहाँ तक जाएगा, because of course this is one off. What I am talking to you that we are talking with the Navy is one off, but I think we at a national level. That's
At
why I said,
national, I'm
uh,
talking at a full level.
yeah, there,
And
you
this,
know,
why I'm saying it, is because I have seen, having interacted off and on intermittently with you in IIT for the last about 4 or 5 months, that these are certain things that have
which you
come
can
about,
be done.
which can be done at the national level.
Yeah, and again, I make this point again and again and again. I hope someone sees this. This can't be done individually by Air Service, B Service, or C Service. It has to be done by the MOD. Right?
Yes,
That's the level at which people have to get involved and do things.
that was
Uh,
the first slide which I
First
showed. The
slide,
central
yeah,
fulcrum. The
yeah,
center is MOD, the decision maker is there.
yeah. Let me go back to that first slide, because now, after having gone through all this, I'm sure now people will be able
Understand?
to appreciate what you have said. Take
Yes.
2 minutes and go through it again.
Basically, the services are the fulcrum where they will drive their needs, academia, industry. None of it will work unless that center is there, because the decision making is there. And
Yeah,
unless that stands and runs this, none of this what we are talking will work. And
yeah,
that is where I say, and what General Shankar has also underlined, that as on date today, the MOD is not geared for this next level that we are asking for.
right. I think we can take some questions.
Yes.
Right, we have 15 odd minutes. Right, before we take on questions, I'd request all of you, please subscribe to Gunner Shot, because, like I promised, in Gunner Shot we will get the best people who have got the experience. I'd like to reiterate, this is not a talk show, this is not an entertainment channel, this is a serious channel in where we talk business. We are putting our 40 to 50 years of experience in front of you, right? And the whole idea is that, the nation benefits, right? We are not here, and I would like to reiterate, this is not a political channel, right? We are completely apolitical. We are driven by only one idea: nation. India first, India last, India everywhere, right? That's it. The first, last, and everything is India. Anything which is against this thinking process will not be spoken here. Okay, we have defended India for the past 40 years. We'll continue to help others defend India for the next rest of our lives. That's right. That's where it is. Right. Uh, some comments, some ideas. Banner. We'll take this banner out. Yeah. Yeah. Logic says correct problem statement by armed forces will clear all weaknesses. Completely agree with you, right? That's part of the effort. And when you have this interaction with the academia on a regular basis, from the start point of an idea to the time it's you finish and get an equipment, this process will take care of itself, right? Okay, Omkar Jadhav says, please add socialism at Indian, not Western, in army requirements, which is required. Look, Omkar, don't get swayed by all these ideas. Indian Army goes by a very fundamental thing. Indian Army, Air Force, and Navy goes by fundamental thing. You have a job to do. You have an operational requirement in a particular terrain. There's no socialism involved in it. There's no Western requirement in it. There's a requirement. If our own technology and science, indigenous, can meet the requirement, it is taken. Otherwise, only people are being forced outside. So why I put this is for this particular very reason जो हमने बोला था. Don't get swayed by all these ideas. Indian Army and armed forces are very clear, okay, that we want to indigenize, and you're looking at two champions of indigenization. Look no further. Don't worry. Okay. Uh, okay. Hardik. Yeah. Hardik says India spent 0.7% of GDP in R&D compared to 2.2% of Chinese GDP, etc., etc. Right. Dismal state of affairs. Do we lack vision? Yeah. Rajiv, take on.
Like I said, you see, uh, when you say 0.7% of GDP in R&D, this is depends. See, when you say 0.7% of GDP in R&D, that has been distributed to who all, and how much from the defense budget have we spent on R&D? So that is why I said it is becoming very expensive. You're not very. Don't compare to China. China today is. You look at their GDP and look at where your GDP is. Okay, so Today, you need to maintain a balance between maintaining your economy and maintaining your defense. So, when you do that, you may not have that kind of I would say, a luxury to spend so much as China on R&D. So I'm not comparing anything with China. All I'd said is कि भाई these are expensive, तो spread it out, spread it out. Services के बजट से कुछ जाएगा, कुछ इंडस्ट्री अपना डालेगा उसके बजट से. जब इंडस्ट्री को मिल रहा है, वेदर इट इज पब्लिक और प्राइवेट, दे मस्ट पुट सम मनी इनटू R&D. सिमिलरली एकेडमिया को मिलता है, उसके एलुमनाई भी उनको पैसे देते हैं, दे आर ऑल्सो पुटिंग सम मनी इनटू R&D. जब सब मिल के बांध काम करते हैं तो बूंद बूंद से घट भरे. सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट. अब पेटेंट्स वगैरह आता रहेगा. आई डोंट गो बाय whether you have patents or don't have patents. A lot of patents are very political. If you feel that Chinese have so many patents, what is the level of patents? Where have they got their patents? Are they registered everywhere or are they registered only in their country? Just having a patent means nothing. It has to be accepted in the vast
International
majority of
community. Yeah.
countries that yes, it is a patent. Means it is a pioneering work which has not been done anywhere. What I know of, what I have read of China is that bulk of their patents are given by Chinese.
Internal.
It is internal. तो वो अगर मैं उस तरह से if I dilute my standards and start giving, you may get more patents. We
Yeah.
are looking at acceptability everywhere in the world.
Right. Karan says, sir, school education perhaps needs rethink practical innovating thinking rather than rote learning. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. मैं इसलिए कहता हूँ क्योंकि बचपन से, हालांकि टचवुड I had been good in my studies, but most of the time, more than at least one fourth of the class, I used to be outside on my knees with the book bag in my hand, hands up. Boys school में था, because I used to ask a lot of questions. But my principal was very good. God bless his soul, Father Moore. He used to say, "Son, never lose this of asking questions when you don't understand. Don't learn by rote. Understand the basic theme, then you will never forget how to apply it." So I agree with you. We tend to go by rote. Why do we go by rote? I am reminded of Lee Iacocca's famous statement: "You give peanuts, you will get monkeys."
Monkey.
What do you give your teachers? What do you give your teachers?
Yeah.
Right? And they are the ones who are used for electoral duties. You have such a huge bureaucracy. What are they sitting on their butt for? Take them for all the polling booths and other places. You shut schools. You take away the teachers for polling duties and various other duties. Why? That
Yeah.
means you're not giving priority to education. I'm sorry. So especially your primary, that is the Montessori teachers, and your senior teachers have to be really well paid, because that's where the foundations are getting laid. And if you're
Yeah.
not paying them, kya karoge?
DARPA with 4.1 billion budget has 220 employees. DRDO has 5,000 scientists with 25,000 K supporting staff and 2.3 billion budget. They made an employment generation scheme is a monumental blunder, deep-rooted problems. Yeah, I take it on.
Concept of DARPA is very different.
Different, yeah.
See, their whole concept is they just look at a little bit of conceptual ideas, and then they give it to the private companies, the industrial complex, and they have a very the model that we are telling is already existing in US,
Yeah.
but in a
So
slightly different way to what we are recommending.
look, when you compare DARPA with DRDO, you're comparing apples and oranges. Remember that. Okay. Their system is completely different, our system is completely different. Why it's different has got a lot of other issues, so we'll not get into it. We need to see you are existing in one system. How do you make that system work for you is more important than trying to see Why should I be the next system?
Yeah, we are not doing a systems analysis of what is
Yeah,
the existing system. The existing system, we are trying to put in an operational research approach, how
yeah.
to strengthen it and how
How
to
how
make
to
it
strengthen it
better.
and how to get the best out of it. You have a
Best out.
system, and that's a system. Look, we have a very vast system. We need to leverage it to our ends rather than trying to see what DARPA does. Let DARPA keep
So the
doing what it
problem ये
wants.
है, if you try to break something and try to make something, that making
You
something takes time.
time, yeah. Okay,
And
so
then what do you do in that?
just as the Navy has its own design bureau, why not the same applied for the Army? Look, we have right. I'll kill this fast. Bharat, we have a Army design bureau. It has started about 4 5 years back. It will take time, so be patient. Okay, and in fact, it started when I was still in service.
Yes.
Okay, right. So the whole idea of civil academia military rule, how much time will it take to be a finished good? Hmm. Very
Depends on
interesting
the
question.
MOD. Like I said, the
Yeah.
MOD has to step in. The
Yeah.
decision maker has to step in. You got to restructure, create a vertical within that,
Yeah.
and then start from there.
Yeah. Uh, Look, I'm taking a question by one. If you put in 4 5 questions to all our viewers, I'm taking one of your questions because then everyone gets a chance because I see a lot of questions. I'll go through them. Right, at least everyone gets one shot at his question being answered. Indian research institutions should focus on talent retention rather than manpower creation for global market. Your views, sir?
How much talent retention can you take? There are only X number of posts. After that, the other bulk of the others, like let us take hypothetical. One stream has 200 students. अब 200 को उसी IIT में रखोगे, जगह कहाँ है यार?
Hmm. Yeah, and not only that, the additional thing is unless our people go out, they learn new technologies, then
Fresh ideas.
they have fresh ideas, they can't come back. Look, I'm not against this business of people going abroad and doing job there, getting experience and coming back. A lot of my students have gone abroad, and a lot of my colleagues in IIT are people who spend their time and come back. And incidentally, we have a lot of people, some from outsiders, some from outside who are working in IIT and are going to go back. In fact, in the aerospace department, I have a Chinese working, a Chinese professor. He's going to retire from here, so it's not as if it's a one-way street. The point what your valid point in this is that you need to make it a little more wider, a little more better, so that it is not one way. That's about all, right? Yeah, he's got a comment. DARPA and DRDO are completely different. I agree with you. uh, Yesterday Ashwini Vaishnav saw that quantum research facility started at Delhi. Will it benefit our industry? Naturally it will.
Course, quantum is the next big thing which is going to
Yes.
hit you.
Karthik, thanks. Then your question: how to increase spending on research in our universities? Even our basic engineering textbooks lack newer information. How to fix it? Look, let me. Having spent 5 years now, let me put it across to you. Uh, you need more involvement of the industry. Our industry is research shy. That's the problem. The government is spending money on research. Like what General Narayanan said, you can't expect only the government. Government is not the only milk cow here. Okay, others have to foot in. And who are the others who can put in? It is the industry. They have got the money. If they put in money, they get patents out of the academia, and they get the value out of it. Their industry can go up. But our fundamental problem today is that our industry doesn't invest. Right? Okay, I leave it at that. Leaving aside the science, sir, can you please shed a light on the importance of academics and social sciences, especially for narratives with emerging of fifth domain? We'll take this on later. This is not nothing to do
I'm
with.
doing the Q&A on the same thing tonight on Dev Talks. So if you
Yeah,
want to,
you ask him. Yeah, you can ask him there.
you can
Okay.
ask me there. I will.
Uh, yeah. Last question. I sound as a pessimist in my friend circle. But when I see post World War states and especially China, I feel we are left far behind. I bow down to both of you who are contributing to this nation even after service.
Thank you,
Uh,
Hardik.
Thanks a lot, Hardeep. Hardik, you're not a pessimist. You're being a realist. We have problems. We should accept it. And look, this is our way of ensuring that we pass whatever knowledge we have to the next generation, right? And hope all of you, you're the next generation for all of us, right? Take it forward in the right manner. And let me also put it across, we are not that far behind. Don't think you're far behind. I keep saying this. I've also made a, what shall I say, shorts out of it. What is the best technology? The best technology is that technology which wins you a war. The best technology is that technology which works in your battlefield. The best technology is that technology which our men can handle with ease, right? And the best technology is one which is the least costly. You don't need the costliest and the latest technology to win wars. So you need to hit that optimum button. And let me tell you, with all the experience I have in this field, we have that technology. We need to leverage what we have to our purposes. The day we can do that, we'll be world beaters. Your views, Rajiv, and
No,
then
I
we can.
entirely agree, sir. Because see, in the military domain, we have got a task to perform, and which is the best platform which will be able to perform that task. I don't need the latest or the best technology that is required out there, because there's so much of battlefield, you could say, ruggedization that is needed. Maybe the best of the technology existing may not be able to be ruggedized in the battlefield to be able to last the stress what comes on that platform in the battlefield. Maybe a technology level, one level below, may be able to better perform that task. So if you give me the best technology and the first jhatka it gets and it has stopped working, then that platform is useless.
Yeah. So that's where it is. And I think we've had a great conversation, a lot of questions. I'm very happy. I would request all of you to kindly once again tell your friends to come on to our channel, tell all your this thing, because we're going to make it as interesting as possible. This is not an entertainment channel. This is a serious channel where we do serious business. Right?
एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए नेटफ्लिक्स है, हॉटस्टार है, बहुत कुछ
Hotstar. There are other look. There are other dialogues, other talk shows where you can go. Who those chaps are, designed to entertain you. Please go ahead. We mean business, right? Thank you. And with this, thanks a lot,
है.
Rajiv. Till the
Thank you,
next
sir.
time. Yeah. And
Sure.
tomorrow I'm going to talk about the Chinese comprehensive national power and
Yes.
how it has eroded with the pandemic and the Ukraine war. Join me in tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. Thank you and
Sure,
goodbye.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.